After Popful Mail, you did Lunar Eternal Blue for Sega CD, which was the sequel to Lunar the Silver Star. How did that go with going from Popful Mail to Lunar Eternal Blue? Were you approached by Victor Ireland? How did the extra work come along?
Yeah, I mean, I really consider myself really blessed. I mean, people ask me often, like, how did you get into it? And it's like, my story is like a one in a million story because I just kind of fell into it. I had the opportunity at a young age, and once I did Popful Mail, I mean, he just kept calling me for different games. I had a couple auditions with Victor or with Working Designs that actually did not work out. I know that he had another singer that had kind of a more rocky, raspy voice, and I don't remember what her name was. She would sing some of the songs that were written kind of more rock style. Um,
Oh, sorry to interrupt. That's actually Lunar the Silver Star for Sega CD. That was the more rock type of intro, and it had a singer for that. So that may be what you're referring to. But yeah, two characters and two songs for the Sega CD Lunar Eternal Blue.
Yeah. Funny story with that one, actually. I think this was my senior year in high school by then, because I remember that I auditioned for our high school musical, and I I got a role as not a lead character, but a semi-lead. And I had to make the choice whether to do the video games with Working Designs, or I guess do the musical and say no to the video game.
So looking back, are you happy with your decision?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, first of all, these games, I mean, they have become really a part of many people's lives. Like such a major part that I've heard people say, I was depressed, I was thinking of taking my life, and one of the songs spoke to me, or there's so many different stories to this opportunity that I have had throughout these years. Even though I haven't done anything for a long time, I mean, I get almost daily communication from people still, just like life changing. And I never expected that I would be in that position. It's like it's totally an honor to, just by singing a song, be a part of somebody's life. I mean, so deeply, so deeply. It's really an honor.
What was also interesting, apparently, Iwadare Sensei, the composer for most of these songs, when I mentioned you would be singing as a guest singer for the stretch goal for Godshard Chronicles, he first thing he said was Lunar no Jenny, which is the Jenny from Lunar. And I think he's looking forward to recording with you as well. So
That's a dream come true, to be able to visit him. And I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but Noriyuki Iwadari is a legend in my book, like absolutely amazing composer. And the fact that he's honored to for me to come there and sing his music is like, oh my gosh, this is my honor. Like, don't get me crying here. Come on. Don't get me started.
it's going to be really cool to see what kind of magic you two pull off. And there's also another track as well we have planned with Jennifer to sing. We don't know much how that's going to go about either because that song hasn't been written yet. But yeah, stay tuned, I suppose. And that goes on to the next bit. Sega Saturn, the working design games for that. We have Albert Odyssey and Magic Knight Ray Earth. Could you tell us about your roles in any of these?
Yeah, so Albert Odyssey, I'm pretty sure that was pretty minor character, I think. I did not play it. I played the part of Cirrus. I think it's Cirrus. And I think I remember that one was like a talking sword, you know?
Okay.
Um, so it was a pretty simple character. I mean, for me, nothing really memorable that I can
Right.
talk, you know.
Okay. And then Magic Knight Ray Earth, did that one have any tracks or certain characters that you did on that one?
Yeah, so Magic Knight Rayearth, I played Yumi Ryazaki. She was a lead character, so that was quite a bit of work also. And that was a fun project. I also think with Magic Knight Rayearth, I sang Daring Dreams on that. I believe it was Magic Knight Rayearth. Not my finest song, I will tell you. I cringe when I cringe when I hear that song.
Well, you said you did that on one of the Lunar songs as well, but apparently a lot of fans think otherwise. So we'll leave it to them to, you know, decide, enjoy or cringe. So this may be a stretch, but besides any other Sega Saturn games, I suppose then the PlayStation era came. Lunar: The Silver Star Story was going to be the next big release. I remember they had the making of video, had you singing on it, so I guess people got to put a face with the voice. Um, and you also played Royce. She wasn't in the Sega CD version, but she was in the PlayStation version. But you played Royce. Tell me all about Royce and first.
Oh gosh. What was she, a sorcerer? I'm
Yes,
trying to,
something like that.
yeah, I just remember having to like bring out my inner evil, if that's even possible. Yeah, just having to kind of go into this dark place when I played Royce. That was fun. There are a lot of fans of Royce, which is just funny to me. Um, have something, a voice that I've put to a character, it has a fan base. It's just like mind boggling to me. But yeah, she was a fun character to play.
So did Victor call you up? Like, did he call you up for the singing part, or did he say, "Hey, I also have another voice that needs to be filled. Can you do this for me?"
I think I was still in Reading for that game. And yeah, I mean, again, all of these opportunities, Victor would call and I would come a running, you know, I mean, for me, there's nothing better than being able to sing and sing behind the curtains, behind the scenes. I'm definitely more of a behind the scenes singer. So um, yeah, thank you,
Uh,
Victor.
yeah, no, I think if it weren't for him, I don't think we'd have the Lunar games. Victor made it all come together in a way. So that's props to Victor for making all this, putting all this together. When was the moment you felt like this was going to be big, or because Lunar for the PlayStation when it released, it was a big seller.
I think it was when, again, we keep talking about Victor, but it was just we were so involved. He was telling me that fan mail was coming in like nonstop. I didn't get to see a lot of it because it was filtered through Working Designs. But he said it's unbelievable the amount of fan mail that you have. And at first, when I very first started with Popful Mail, I thought, oh, I'm going to be a big star. Um, but this, I think it was at that time that I was like, wow, this actually is something. And the making of video, did that come out on that one?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. There was the first game, and then there was a second Lunar 2, and I think you were on both of them. But yeah, you were definitely on that one because you were singing Boats Nocturne.
Yeah. Or yeah, the boat song.
Boat song. There's several names for it.
Oh my gosh, there's so many, and there's I mean, somebody turned it into something called She's Song. It looks very, very popular, but just it's my voice singing. They just raised it to a higher pitch. There's all these like spin-offs now, and it's my voice, it's me singing, it's my voice. I'm like, hey, why didn't I ever sign up for royalties? That is my question.
The fan mail started coming, and I guess it was after the PlayStation release, I assume, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess it just kept on going from there.
Yeah. Obviously we've all gotten a little older, and it's definitely slowed down, but it's weekly. People reach out on a weekly basis still. It's just unbelievable to me. I'm like, do you realize that I'm just a normal person?
Well, that will go on to Lunar 2, where you reprise your role with Ruby and Jean. I think those are new versions of the songs because when we were listening to the Sega CD version earlier, it does sound a bit different.
A little bit different, yeah.
Yeah, your singing was softer on that version.
I remember that. I remember asking Victor if I could kind of make it a little bit more my style, and he said, let's try it. But he was very wanting to stick to, like I said earlier, just as closely as possible to the sweet Japanese sound, you know. But you do hear a little change. Couple of years older too, but yeah, little bit of me coming in there a little bit more than the first version.
You did get one thing by. It was on the Lunar 1 on PlayStation. You said you wanted to do this little Disney-like thing where you repeated the desperately, right? So
Yeah, so the Japanese version that I learned, I don't remember quite how it went, but there was no like desperately, like for all I need desperately. I wish then for a chance to see now all I need desperately. I said, can I try this and do like echo? And then I also said, let's at the very end, is my star to come? It was supposed to just be like, is my star to come? And I said, can we just try like kind of Disney-ish, like, is my, like a whisper with a and we stuck with that. Is my star to come? And I think that really lent a lot to that song. It was just very, oh, that the video that goes with that song is just so beautiful. I mean, I don't know, I've cried to that video and to that song. Not because it's me, but just I feel it. I feel that. Yeah, so he allowed me to take a couple of those liberties.
no, that's really cool because yeah, it does sound a bit different to the original, but in a good way. And I think the lyrics are quite a bit different too. If I'm not mistaken, it talks about like the blue star or something like that in the original Japanese. I would have to play through the game again. Those little added touches have a little charm to them. So yeah.
Yeah. With this particular song, from what I can remember, it definitely was not a literal translation. Kind of like, I know I'm jumping forward, but like Silver Star Harmony, I think that song was a pretty accurate literal translation from the Japanese version. Working designs didn't always, in fact, usually didn't stay literal. They were more about the feeling of what was going on in the particular scene. And like the boat song, for example, Wind's Nocturne, wasn't literal, but man, the feeling of that song with the animation, I mean, it was beautiful. That was beautiful.
When we return, we're going to talk about some more behind the scenes and along with your transition to beyond Lunar and working design. So stay tuned and we'll be right back, all right?
Wishing on a dream that seems far